I went to Glasgow again this week, and you can guess what shop I went to? Waterstones, Sauchiehall Street, my favourite shop in Glasgow. So I'm going to go through the book haul with you, and then I'm going to show you some other related books that I'll explain when I get to them. So let's first of all take a look at the book haul. Right, first of all, The Gulag Archipelago, Alexander Solzhenitsyn. I have a rough copy of this that I bought used on my shelf over there, and the pages are falling out. It doesn't look very pleasant to read. I did have a copy before that a friend of mine gave me when I went to Ukraine, and I didn't read it then, and I haven't read the one I bought, and I saw this in the shop. 30th anniversary, not 30th, 50th anniversary edition. I just loved the cover, I loved the feel of it, and of course the smell of it. So it's high time I read this. It's been on my list for such a long time, so I got it. Now they did have another copy that had, it was a paperback with a different cover, and it had an introduction in it by Jordan Peterson, which I would like to read. So perhaps I'll get that out the library or something, because I would like to read that introduction. This one has a foreword by Natalia Solzhenitsyn, presumably Alexander Solzhenitsyn's daughter. I don't know. I haven't really looked at it yet. So that's book number 1 from the haul. Number 2, Master and Margarita, Bulgakov, one of my all-time favourite books. I've read it twice. Last time was when my mum was in hospital, when she was going through end of life, and I was reading this on the sofa when I got the phone call to say my mum had died. 2016. So it was dear to me already, and it became more dear to me then. And now at the moment Benjamin McAvoy is doing a read through of this on his Hardcore Literature Patreon book club, which I have joined, and I would like to read this along with him, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Next up, Heart of a Dog, or A Dog's Heart, depending on which translation you read. Mikhail Bulgakov. I've never read this, and I have it in Russian. It's something that I've wanted to read for a long time, so as part of my new Russian reading translation comparing project on my channel here, I thought this would make a really good addition to that theme. So we'll get back to that in a minute. Speaking of my theme, look at that, Crime and Punishment. This is a translation by Oliver Reedy, which I haven't read. I've read David Macduff's translation probably twice. I did read it years ago when I was at uni in the mid-90s. I can't remember which translation it was. This one is actually the reason I went back to the shop in Glasgow, because I was there on Friday and I saw this and flicked through it and thought that's a beautiful thing, but I didn't buy it, and it just stayed in my head, you know, the way things do. And as I worked over the weekend developing my project idea of reading in Russian with translations and comparing, I thought I would love to have this on my shelf, and as part of my project I can justify it. So this is the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. It's got a fold out cover page, beautiful artwork, look at that. It's just a delightful thing. There's Sonia in the inside cover, and the tears, oops, the tears are embossed, as are the raindrops on this street scene here on the back. It's just such a beautiful thing. And the pages are deckled. I've never had a deckled edge book before, so I'm really excited to go through that one. Next up, yay, another Crime and Punishment. Another great feeling book. I believe this is another American import. I think these both are, because they've got barcode stickers over them with British pounds, and behind the stickers we've got dollars. This is by Michael R. Katz, which is obviously a different translation of the book. I like the cover, the sort of lines that indicate that it's been redacted on the side as well, on the spine. That's really cool. It's a great size, there's a good weight to it. Pages feel great. So I'm going to be going through these two, as well as the one I showed in my last video, Roger Cockrell. So I can be I can be comparing the translations. And, oh, I've lost my original. I thought I had planned this better, hang on. There's my original Russian version. So this is going to be the one that I'm reading primarily, with the translations beside me, and comparing. So there are two missing ones. I did read the Macduff translation of Crime and Punishment in December, but then I gave it away. I bought it as a gift and read it before I gave it as a gift. So I read it, and now I don't have it. So I should probably get a used copy of that, and also the Pevere and Volokhonsky. I don't have that. I do have Constance Garnett in Kindle. So that'll be my first big project, really. I could perhaps have done better to have started with Heart of a Dog, since it's a lot smaller. But Crime and Punishment's the one I've been focusing on. So I've got two more translations to find before I can really dig into the project. So let's go back to Heart of a Dog, Bulgakov. I have here a Russian copy. Is this the one? Yeah, this one's got 5 novels in one single volume. It's volume 2. I don't have volume 1 of this set. I must have bought this on the street in Odessa. Did I write inside it with the date? No, I didn't, but it would have been 1996, because that's when I was there. So, yeah, publication date of this book is 1992, and it's got, yeah, different stories in it, including Heart of a Dog, so I'm looking forward to reading that one. I also have this original Russian copy of, it's another series of novels, including Master and Margarita. So it also has in it White Guard and theatrical novel. Not sure how you translate that. Theatrical novel, probably. And this was a gift by one of my pupils when I was in Odessa. I was over there for a year when I was a student, and I was teaching privately as well as in a school, a state school. And this is a gift from one of my pupils. It's got a beautiful inscription inside it. I hope you will love this book. Your Miss Girl. So her name was Sasha Girl. We also had Sasha Boy and another Sasha. 3 different Sashas that we taught. It's a very common name. So I have it in Russian. I also have Heart of a Dog. So that's something that will be coming up on my channel. This is another copy of Master and Margarita that I bought on Amazon, and it was waiting for me when I got back home, because it's translated by Pevere and Volokhonsky, which I didn't have, or at least so I thought. When I put it on the shelf, look what I found. Yeah, Pevere and Volokhonsky. And it had some notes inside from I guess, my student days, except for the fact that we didn't read this as part of my studies, which I think was an oversight on the course director's part. How could you miss that out of a Russian literature degree? Come on. So yeah, it turns out I already had it, so now I've got it twice. And I do love these cloth-bound classics. This is the version of Crime and Punishment that I read in December and gave away as a Christmas gift to my daughter's boyfriend. They're very nice to hold. They feel nice in the hand. It's my daughter's birthday coming up, so I thought rather than return it, I think I'll give it to her for her birthday. She loves to read, so what better gift than one of my favourite books. And then this is another one I had on my shelf. This is the one that I read more recently. This is the Michael Glennie translation. I've got some notes inside, yeah. Excellent. And some photos even. And a drawing that I did of a horse and cart. I don't know why that's in here. That was a drawing from my childhood. I hope that was clear. So I've got multiple translations of that. I don't think I need to buy any more of them for my project. And then when I got home, I bought this online because they did have this translation of Crime and Punishment in Waterstones, but only in hardback. And I thought, you know, I've spent so much money already, I'm going to look for the paperback copy. If they had had it, obviously I would have bought it there, but, you know. So I got this one online. So this is translated by Nicholas Pasternak Slater. And yeah, that's another translation for me to look at. And then inside I've got this Slava Octyabrio, Glory to October Revolution. I don't know where I got that. It was inside one of the other books. Probably in Odessa. And there was another book I bought, which I don't have because I met a friend on the boat when I was coming back over, showed her my book haul, and she's borrowed it, so I'll put a picture up, picture of the cover. Stalin's Dancers or something it was called. So you'll see the picture. I just saw it on the, you know, they have the lie flat tables where they put out the books to make them more visible and more appealing for buyers. And I fell for it, of course. The Russian section, or the Russian history section in Waterstones, is just outstanding. They've got loads of books I've got on my shelf over there waiting to be read, as well as many others. You know, I could quite easily spend hundreds of pounds in there buying Russian history books, Soviet history books, that kind of thing. So that was my trip. I did record when I was in the bookshop. I had my camera on a gimbal, I had my binaural microphones in my ears. I did a city walk tour around Glasgow, and then I did a bookshop tour, so I'll put a link to that if you want to go and have a look round Sauchiehall Street branch of Waterstones in Glasgow. With no music, I'll probably put it out with no music and no narrative. It'll just be the ambient sound as if you're there in the bookshop with me. So yeah, click the link if you want to see that. This is Cams from the future. I'm just going through my edit and I offloaded all of the footage from my camera. The footage from the book tour wasn't there. What was there was a short clip right at the end when I thought I was turning off the recording. I was actually turning it on, and it hadn't been recording for the whole time I walked around the shop. About 45 minutes. So I should be going back on Friday, and if not, then Monday. And I'll try and get to it because it's a great shop and you really ought to see it. So look out for that coming soon. Once I've been, of course, if you're watching this video after the fact, I will have updated the links and, you know, all that stuff. So you'll find it that way. But if you want to see the video and you're watching this one now, subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when the bookshop tour comes out, hopefully next week. Right, back to the past cams. Thanks for watching my book haul. If you're interested in learning about the differences in these translations and what it's like as a Russian student to attempt to read some classic literature after having been away from speaking Russian for many, many years. Stick around, subscribe, listen to the channel. I'm not sure what format it's going to take yet. I would anticipate probably doing maybe multi-chapter milestone markers, because obviously the book is too long for me to do one big long video. So I will do milestone markers, and then at the end I'll try and do a spoiler-free translation comparison video. So I expect that's going to be maybe a year away, who knows. It's not going to happen next week, that's for sure. So that's me for today. Thanks for watching this video about my book haul, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.